Alright, good morning, people of YouTube. So we are back again today with the deck that I've been putting by far the most work into for the BT6 format. We have GabuBond with a little bit of splash of red. So I thought of the red tech when the starter decks came out, and I've been testing it, and I've been trying to keep it under wraps so that I could take it to nationals, and then lo and behold, everybody else apparently had the same idea I did. So you'll see a bunch of deck profiles floating around with GabuBond with a little bit of splash of red. Some people are calling it Pepsi. I hate Pepsi, so I'm not going to use that name, but this is the deck that I think is probably the most powerful deck we have in the format. I just built it whenever we got the starter decks and took it to a store championship that exact same day and got second place with no play testing. And since then, I have been tweaking the deck, refining it, and giving it a lot of love and attention. And I think that this build is a build that can definitely take you far in the BT6 format. So let's go ahead and hop right into it, starting with my egg choices. I got 3 copies of Demi Vmon and 2 copies of Upamon. This Demi Vmon is the Demi Vmon from BT2. It gives you plus 1000 whenever you unsuspend. So this is really good with the Vidramon and with the Bond of Friendship. So it makes it so that if you just have this in your stack, you're hitting 15, which will get over a Craniumon if they have like the tie in play, plus a plus a 1000 source somewhere else. And that's just really good. So making sure that you hit over certain power thresholds is always nice. Plus this combos with the Vidramon, like I said, making it 7,000 whenever you swing. So people, whenever they build this deck, a lot of them like to include Octomon because it is a 7,000 power Digimon that can swing into security relatively safely this format. If you play this egg, then Vidramon is a 7,000 power Digimon that can swing into security very safely twice. So I really, really like this choice. And Upamon helps you draw cards. I felt the full house split was kind of nice just to ensure that I would have access to this if I needed, but also to ensure that I could draw cards if I needed. So going straight ahead into the deck list, I'm playing the obligatory 4 Bond of Friendship. That's it for the level 7s. We'll start with the level 3s. I got 4 of the best Gabumon to evolve Bond over. I got 4 of the best Gabumon to play whenever you're digging for pieces. I got 3 of the Gabumon that gives you plus 1000, which will let this guy with the Demi Vmon hit over Craniumon if it has the Gigadramon in sources with the tie. And it will also let Vidramon hit 8,000 in certain situations, which is just very, very nice. This card puts in a lot of work against some of your less optimal matchups. We have 3 copies of the Gabumon that searches for tamers. I don't think 4 is necessary. You'll end up bottom decking a lot of important cards that way, is the argument you'll hear a lot of players give you. However, if you're in a situation where you have your mats and you need your Bond of Friendships, just don't hard play this. Just put this in your raising area. It's as simple as that. So the last level 3 that I'm playing is 3 copies of Strawbymon. I'm not playing 4 because I like the 3-3 split. This only searches for tamers. This grabs tamers and hybrids. Both are important, so both are a 3 of. And this ratio allows me to play the 17 rookies, which is higher than most, but still low for a rookie rush build. And still allow me to play 14 Gabumons, which is really nice in conjunction with the mats. So these are the rookies that I play, and I really like these in playtesting. If I were to go up any, I'd go up either this Gabumon or the Strawbymon. So on to the level 4s. I got 2 copies of Cordramon. This is another card I want to bump up. In the starter deck, we got access to this card, and this is really, really nice when you're trying to push for offense. So if you hit this card in security, and you are digging for pieces, this will get you further. Plus, it'll give you another body to swing with to chip away with, so that you get your win condition faster. Overall, this is just a really nice card, and if you are set to 3 off of Davis and they have a memory tamer in play and you want to save your GabuBonds in hand for your raising area, you can play this card to just dig for the bond that way, and I really like this for that purpose. You'll notice that this deck is mostly just putting on a lot of offense while building up your combo pieces. And there are a lot of games that I win before I even see bond. So it's kind of nice just having that option. We got 4 copies of Lobomon because this is the card that you're winning the game with most of the time. I think if you're playing this style of deck, and any sort of bond deck really, and you're not playing at least 4 hybrid Digimon, you're probably just in the early stages of playtesting the deck. Because after playtesting this deck a lot, you will realize how important these cards are. Which is why I have a single copy of Kendo Garurumon in here as well. So this acts as a 5th Lobomon in some situations, and it also has an effect that lets me bounce tamers, or not tamers, it bounces level 3s. So it'll bounce back the memory blockers, which will let me pop off my memory boost and activate my Hammer Sparks freely. So this card is really, really nice. And even if you aren't using it for its second effect, it still can just evolve on top of tamers, and it's just a nice body to just cycle and evolve on top of a GabuMon or something if you need to draw more cards. So, on to the one-ofs on my level 4s. Aside from the Kendo Garurumon, we got a single copy of Vidramon. This card I absolutely want to bump up because this card has been putting in so much work in my playtesting. But anytime that I've played 2, I've seen it too often. But in the mirror match, this card is absolutely essential. It allows you to kind of take victories quicker than your opponent would. And I've been in a situation where my opponent has swung at me with a gorilla, and I've promoted this with the Demi-Vmon under it, swung over the gorilla, and then kept myself unsuspended after that so that my opponent couldn't attack over me with the Octomon that was in the raising area. So they promoted the Octomon, and they swung security with the Octomon as a 7,000, knowing that I can only hit 7,000. And then on my next turn, I drop a red tie, and I swing over the Octomon and then hit security. So overall, this card, you will find yourselves in a lot of situations like that, where you're just hitting over bodies, you're hitting over blockers, you're hitting over a lot of the things that you're going to see in security with the Demi-Vmon boost, and with the GabuMon boost, and with the boost from the red tie. So this is a card that will let you put on massive amounts of offensive tempo, and if you aren't playing this in your bond list, I highly recommend you try it, because this card is the MVP in a lot of my games. And then we have, rounding out the level 4 list, I have a single copy of Grizzlymon and a single copy of Mechanorimon. So blockers are almost unnecessary in a bond meta, but I do really like these cards against the mirror match. And if you hit something in security with your bond, like if you don't have a delicate plan and you're swinging in, and you need to drop something after you're done swinging, these are both good options. Because unless they play a bond in return, or unless they go into their own bond in return, then they aren't clearing this. I like both of these. They've both been putting in work. I don't prefer one over the other, so I'm playing one of each. So those are the only level 4s I'm playing. We have the Tamers next. I have the obligatory 4 Matt and 3 Davis. You'll see everybody play this ratio. I think that this ratio is correct. If you aren't playing the red engine, you can go up to 4 Davis for more consistency if you so choose. But I am playing the red engine, which consists of 2 tie for me. This card gives you plus 1,000 on your turn, which will let your GabuMons swing over their GabuMons in the mirror match. It will also let your Vidramon just hit over things. It lets your bond make sure that it won't die in the security matchup. Like, if you are swinging with your bond and your first check is like a Chaosmon, or the Blitz Omnimon, or just any of the multitude of 14,000s that are in the format, you're going to be sad. And Ty makes sure that that doesn't happen, even if you don't hit the Demi-Vmon egg. So I really, really like this card, and it does put in work, but I would not play more than 2, because this deck draws a lot of cards. But that's it for the Tamers. The options, I got a Delicate Plan and Lightning Joust. I'm only playing one of each. The main reason is if you play too many red cards in this deck, you will clump up your hand. And you will come into situations where you do brick in the early game, which is why I'm trying to play as many cards that just net me value whenever they're played as I can. And why I'm only playing one of each of these. However, you are drawing a lot of cards whenever you're going on the offense just innately by playing your bodies and just drawing with Upamon and stuff. So it's one of those things that you will see these cards if you play the game long enough against the matches that you need it. And a Delicate Plan is something that you need against security control, so you definitely have time to find this card. You typically want to wait to bond until the end of the game anyway in that matchup, so you have way more than enough time to see this card if you want. And if you see both of these cards at the same time, then you can just activate a Lightning Joust on Bond of Friendship, activate a Delicate Plan, and swing in for 6 security checks uncontested. And it's amazing. Lightning Joust will win you games. A Delicate Plan will win you games. And both of these are also really good with cards in the level 4 lineup, such as the Vidramon and the Kendo Garurumon. I've actually Lightning Joust off of a Vidramon where I have a red tie-in board, I have the Demi Vmon under it, and I go up into Vidramon, right? So I have plus 1,000, plus 2,000, and then plus 1,000 from the tie. I'm a 10,000 power Vidramon that's hitting twice for 2 security every time. So I took out 4 security with a level 4, and that's absolutely amazing. And these cards do put in work. And, like, if you wanted, you could even put in a Gaia Force. If you wanted a little bit more removal and you wanted to expand the red package a little bit. I am not, and you'll see why with the rest of the options. But this is what I got so far, and I absolutely love it. Finishing out the option list, we have 2 copies of V Wingblade. This is my choice of removal for this list. And the only thing that this card feels like it's bad against is the Bond matchup. But, like, in all honesty, you play enough cards to tech against that anyway. And this is significantly better in pretty much every other matchup that there is. So I feel like that trade-off is more beneficial for this style of list. I'm playing 2 copies of Blue Memory Boost. I'm not playing Howling Memory Boost because I am playing blockers. I am playing the V Wingblades that I can hit in security. So I am playing a couple more defensive options than some lists are playing, so I feel like this card is better for my specific playstyle. And the one thing that you can't really search that often is GabuBond or Bond of Friendship if you're missing that piece. And this card can grab both of those. So I do really like it. Like, this card and the Davis are the only cards in the deck that can grab Bond of Friendship, which is kind of nuts whenever you think about it. But yeah, 2 blue memory boost, and it helps you set your memory for certain specific plays. Like, if you want to, like, if you promote the GabuBond, you're going to go up to 3 off the Davis, 4 with the Mat, and then you have enough memory to activate a Delicate Plan on your Bond, and then go up into Bond still, and have 0 memory, and then you are a 14,000, can swing 3 times, and you don't check options. You can also pop off the blue memory boost after that and play cards like Lobomon, and you'll win games a lot of the time that way. Plus, with the memory boost, they feel a lot better in this deck because they don't get blocked by memory blockers as much. So if you have your Bond, you can just swing 3 times and bottom deck their Terriermon or their Chumon, and then pop this off and then go into a Lobomon. So these cards feel a lot better in this deck than pretty much any other deck that exists, in my opinion. Except maybe Jesmon, because Jesmon needs more cards to help its consistency. So yeah, I'm playing 2 boosts, and I'm playing the 4 Hammer Sparks, because these are important for setting your memory. So yeah, that's my list, everybody. This is Bond of Friendship. In my opinion, I feel like this deck doesn't really have very many bad matchups. People will say security control is kind of a bad matchup for it, but with cards like Vidramon and with all the rookies that you're playing, you can kind of chip them down pretty quickly. The only times you lose in that matchup is if you hit like a Zwart defeat early on, and if you play into cards like Magnadramon. As long as you don't play into cards like Magnadramon, Gewalt Schwarmer, and things like that, you're going to be fine. So the matchup is a little bit more tricky, but it's not like you can't win it. Black Royal Knights kind of just crumbles before this specific list, especially because of the tie, the Lightning Joust, and the Demi Vemon. You can kind of bottom deck all the small blockers and force them to use their Craniumon to block the Bond of Friendship. And then after that, you can just swing out with rookies, and it's kind of nice. So, yeah, and into Jessamon, you just do the same thing that they do, but faster, which is always fun. In the mirror match, you have more power than they do because of the tie, so your cards are living security while theirs are not. And that's always fun. But so yeah, I think that this deck is one of the best calls for the meta going forward. It is, again, by far the deck I've put the most time into. I have gotten second place at a store championship, first place at a bunch of locals, and yeah, no, this is it, guys. So one last thing before we go, I do want to shout out the creator of the banner and the new emblem for the channel. We have AM Comics. You can find their links to all of their works below, and yeah, check them out if you guys need any of your own work commissioned, because they did a great job. Can't thank them enough for the work that they've done for the channel. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.